In 3 days, the Chiefs take on the 49ers in Vegas for Super Bowl 58. And over the past week, I've been very back and forth on who I think is going to win this game. For the Chiefs, I almost wanted to take them because it's Patrick Mahomes. He's a stud, whether you like him or not. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And it's just hard to bet against them. Wild card round, Chiefs, Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins would have made that game a lot closer. I thought there was potential for maybe an upset. I know it was stupid, but with how fast Tyreek Hill is, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, and I mean, the Dolphins just shit the bed. The game wasn't even close. The Dolphins' play calling was also just terrible. They threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage every single time, but in the end, the Chiefs won that game. Wasn't even close. Divisional round against the Bills. I really thought the Bills were going to win that game. They're at home, and they had a ton of chances to win that game, but the Chiefs' defense stepped up. Patrick Mahomes stepped up, and they won yet again against the Ravens. I thought the Ravens would win that game. You saw how dominant they were against the Texans. I didn't have a ton of trust in Lamar, but I just, the Ravens are at home, their atmosphere, their defense, and they had every chance to win that game. The Chiefs didn't score in the second half. Since when does Patrick Mahomes not score in the second half of a playoff game? The Ravens had the game in their hands. Zay Flowers had the game in his hands, and Mahomes and the Chiefs still found a way to win. So it seems like, they find ways to win every week, but that is definitely more prevalent in the 49ers against Green Bay, against the Lions. It almost seems like it's destiny, no matter what's going on in the games, no matter how bad they're losing, that the 49ers are going to keep winning. Additionally, with taking the Chiefs, everybody is placing their money on the Chiefs. I've seen statistics where around 70% of bets are on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. And usually when things like that happen, when a large majority of people are on one team, usually it's smart to pick against them because the opposite ends up happening. Not all the time, but it does seem like a lot of the time that is the case. The biggest problem I have with picking the 49ers to win this game is their defense. Against the Packers, nearly 30-year-old Aaron Jones had 108 yards on 18 carries. Jordan Love had no problem, pretty much essentially a rookie quarterback, had no problem throwing the ball all over their defense and had a chance to win it, just made a bad decision. Against the Lions, Montgomery and Gibbs had no problem running the football all over the 49ers defense. Jared Goff and the Lions offense could not be stopped, scoring 4 out of their 5 first half drives, 3 of them being touchdowns and the field goal being from the 2-yard line. And now they need to stop Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco and the Kansas City offense. And the Kansas City offensive line, with dealing with injuries, has stayed really strong. One of the biggest arguments I've seen for the 49ers winning this game is you look at the Lions, you look at the Packers, their weapons are a lot stronger than Kansas City's. Look at their running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. Kansas City's definitely has the worst group out of those 3 teams, and the 49ers beat the Lions, they beat the Packers. So surely they should be able to beat Kansas City. I agree with Kansas City not having as strong as weapons as those teams, but I feel like saying that is kind of underestimating Patrick Mahomes. He's Patrick Mahomes for a reason. He doesn't need all-star wide receivers to throw to. Just look at Rashee Rice. He's not one of the best wide receivers in the league. He's very good, but Patrick Mahomes is a big reason for a lot of his success. And Patrick Mahomes, with his wide receiver crew, has still beat the Bills, Dolphins, and Ravens, and they're still winning games. Isaiah Pacheco has also been outstanding during the regular season and especially in the playoffs. And with this Chiefs offensive line, I don't see any reason why Isaiah Pacheco won't run all over the 49ers. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, that connection has been very prevalent, especially last week against the Ravens. The first half was all just Mahomes finding Kelce wide open, picking up 10, 15 yards every single play. And you look at Jordan Love, Jared Goff, they're not the most athletic quarterbacks. They weren't scrambling for 10, 15-yard rushes. Patrick Mahomes can do that. He hasn't been the biggest rusher so far this playoffs, but it's definitely been there. And in past seasons and past games, he has rushed for well over 40, 50 yards. To the 49ers, though, they've just found a way to win against Green Bay, against the Lions. And on paper, their roster is stacked. Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kittle, Deebo Samuel. It's going to be tough for this Chiefs defense to stop them. And I keep thinking back to the divisional round. Bills, Chiefs. The Chiefs defense was allowing Josh Allen and Cook to run all over them. However, the Chiefs pass defense was pretty good. And last week, Brock Purdy started rushing the ball in the second half against the Lions. So now the Chiefs have to plan accordingly for that. However, against Lamar, I would have thought Lamar would have had a lot more rushing yards than he did. I feel like his running aspect of his game wasn't that prevalent, besides the fourth down run where he took it down the field. I believe it was in the first quarter, definitely the first half. Besides that, the Chiefs did a really good job at containing him. Christian McCaffrey is definitely going to be able to run the ball. I think if the 49ers win this game, Christian McCaffrey is definitely MVP, because they'll probably have 2 touchdowns if they win. The Lions, though, I thought defended Christian McCaffrey pretty well. He didn't really have any explosive runs. There's a lot of times where they would hand it off 3 times in a row and pick up 10 yards overall and get the first down, but I didn't think Christian McCaffrey was really game-changing last week. It'll be interesting to see how he goes up against this Chiefs defense. Obviously, any given day, you can have any given team show up, meaning like the Chiefs defense could show up really strong and really good run defense, or it could be something like against the Bills where they show up and the Bills are able to run the ball all over the Chiefs. And it's going to be really interesting to see what 49ers team comes out on Sunday. It's nice. They have 2 weeks off. They have 2 weeks to prepare for this game, get everything together, clean up the issues. The 49ers need to come out and play a full game of football, not just a second half of football like they did against the Packers and against the Lions. If they let the Chiefs get out to an early lead and struggle in the beginning, I don't think there's going to be any coming back this time. With the thing I mentioned earlier about the Chiefs, a lot of money is being placed on them to win, about 70%, I believe. I saw something that said Vegas is doing this, putting the Chiefs as the underdog, because during the regular season and before the season started, a lot of future bets were placed on the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. A lot of people were saying 49ers, it's a Super Bowl lock. And so they're doing that to balance the payouts, because Vegas is just about making money. So I guess that makes sense. I probably should shy away from looking at that though when making my predictions to win this game. In the end, I was gonna take Kansas City, and then I was kind of leaning towards the 49ers, but I'm just gonna stick with Kansas City. I just think Patrick Mahomes, it's hard to bet against him. He's just too good, and the 49ers defense doesn't really scare me. With Patrick Mahomes and Isaiah Pacheco and Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, even Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he can make plays in big moments. I know the Chiefs offense has had a lot of drops this season, but I think they will come through in the Super Bowl. Additionally, I'm not a big fan of everybody saying I'm not even watching the Super Bowl now. It's going to be a boring Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs and 49ers. I honestly am really excited about this Super Bowl. It's kind of like last year. I feel like just because Kansas City is in the Super Bowl, everyone wanted the Eagles to win. And now because Taylor Swift and all of that drama and media, everyone's like, oh, now we need the 49ers to beat Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes. I think it's a fun joke, but honestly, people give the Chiefs, Taylor Swift, Kelce, Mahomes way too much hate. And people that are bored by seeing these teams in the playoffs, I just don't understand that. They're probably the same people that I'm not watching the NBA Finals this year. It's LeBron and Steph Curry. It's them every year. It's boring. My opinion is the exact opposite. You get these teams again. Not often are the same teams making it to the Super Bowl year after year. You're watching history being made and getting one Super Bowl. That's what teams dream of. Players dream of this. Coaches dream of just getting one, like Kyle Shanahan. He's been to the Super Bowl multiple times, NFC Championship multiple times, has had a lot of amazing regular seasons, but yet to get a ring. Mahomes already has 2. If he gets a 3rd, that'd be unbelievable. I guess it's just how you look at it. There's also a ton of exciting things to root for with the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan especially could be one of the best coaches of all time. Definitely up there, but yet to get a Super Bowl. Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs, yet to get a Super Bowl. Mr. Irrelevant, being the last pick in the draft to going to win a Super Bowl. Crazy storyline there. Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen ever, yet to get a Super Bowl. So there's tons to look forward to with either side winning. A fun statistic, if the 49ers win on Sunday, it would continue a recent tradition of the defending champions losing the following Super Bowl every 3 years. Seahawks win. Next year, they lose. 3 years later, Patriots win. Next year they lose. Chiefs win the Super Bowl last year. If they lose, it'd be pretty funny. That stat line or trend would hold to be true. Another funny one is no team has ever won a Super Bowl rematch against a team that beat them within the same decade. Steelers beat the Cowboys in 75 and 78. The 49ers beat the Bengals in 81 and 88. Cowboys beat the Bills in 92 and 93. The Giants beat the Patriots 07 and 11. And the 49ers lost to the Chiefs 4 years ago. However, they don't have Jimmy Garoppolo anymore. So even with the 49ers all-star roster, with their offensive weapons and Brock Purdy under center, I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Even though it seems like the 49ers just can't lose and it's destiny for them to win it all, and a lot of bets are placed on KC. The KC defense is just too good, and pair that with Mahomes, who's I think is just too good. I have KC winning. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.